All righty, good morning. So my name is Norm Johnson. I am truly blessed to be part of the YMCA of the Greater Louisville Association. I would like to enthusiastically thank Mayor Fisher, Pete Charbonneau, the YMCA staff, YMCA volunteers, YMCA members, community members for celebrating this great opportunity for us. The 6 degrees of separation theory states any inhabitant of the earth could meet anyone in the world with a maximum of 6 or fewer mutual connections between them and another person. These connections could be through acquaintances, friends, or members of their family. This theory proved to be powerfully true between 2 Minnesota Vikings fans. On a Sunday afternoon in the fall of 2018, I was cheering on my beloved Vikings at a local establishment. There was a couple that I was not familiar with sitting at a table right next to mine. Between some cheering and some small conversation, I found out they were also from the great state of Iowa, my home state, and thus started down our path of 6 degrees. Over the next few months, we discovered many mutual friends, many colleagues, business associates, schools, classmates, communities, organizations, wrestling alma maters, and, of course, the YMCA. Pete Charbonneau, plant manager of JBS Louisville, has been active in various YMCAs throughout his career in Ottumwa, Iowa, Marshalltown, Iowa, Worthington, Minnesota, and Okoboji, Iowa. Pete's stepson, CJ, was a fitness director in the YMCA in Worthington, and Digger played basketball in our YMCA in Okoboji. Bob Krebs, president of JBS Foods, had a summer home in Lake Okoboji, and him and his family were members of our YMCA in Okoboji. The guiding principles of this 6 degrees is the mission and leadership of both organizations. We both care about our employees. We both care about our customers and our members. We both care about our family, and our organizations are both committed to making a difference. So on to Pete and the JBS family, on behalf of the Downtown Family YMCA, the YMCA Greater Louisville, thank you for allowing us to help you make a difference in our community through the Hometown Strong initiative. I've always been a huge believer that our greatest impacts happen outside of our offices. Never underestimate the power of pizza, beer, and the Minnesota Vikings. It depends on the day. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Pete Charbonneau, plant manager of the JBS Louisville team.
What a great day. Thanks, Norm, and it's hard to follow you up here, but I'm a Packer fan, not a Viking fan, so it wasn't me with that pizza. Number one, I guess it's great to be here today and to take this opportunity to help the YMCA fulfill their commitments here in Louisville and what they do, and not only for that, but also for the employees of JBS with being able to help with their health and wellness and all the other programs of being offered, the family memberships that the YMCA is doing for our employees. Through the JBS Hometown Strong initiatives, it's making this possible. And I really, really like being part of this. You know, on a personal note, as Norm said, I had a son that worked from the YMCA from the age of 14 to the age of 34, and he learned a lot from the YMCA. So it's good to be able to pay back some of these things that he learned and how the YMCA actually helped my family personally. So, but through the JBS Hometown Strong initiative, it's great to be able to give this $1 million. And I know at the time, talking to Steve during the COVID-19 issues, you know, it was a good time that we were able to do that. So it's great to be here, and I appreciate all you guys do. So thank you.
Now again, it is my distinct privilege, pleasure to introduce Mayor Fisher.
Thank you, Norm, and good morning, everybody. This is a great announcement for the city, and it's really been fun, Pete, to watch JBS's kind of growth as a really important corporate partner. You guys have always been important to the GDP of the city. You're probably the leading employer of our foreign-born residents in the community, a great first job and career for many of them as well. And it's been in the past couple years where you all have really said, hey, we're going to make a deeper imprint into the city as well with your JBS Hometown Strong initiative. So I think you're a wonderful model for many companies, and we're seeing that. So I know this gift today will be an inspiration for others to give as well. So I want to thank you on behalf of that here with our great partner at the Y. When you think about the really important institutions in our city, the YMCA is right there. They've pulled so much of the thread in the fabric of our community together, especially during the pandemic. They've been here in many different ways in terms of keeping people healthy and helping kids grow with their mind and their body, and helping families and individuals as well in a time when the community was kind of trying to figure out our way how to get through the pandemic. Steve and I were just talking, you know, when we first got into the pandemic as a community, some of us was like, well, it's in 2 or 3 weeks things will be back to normal, right? It's like, whoa, that didn't work out. And then it was like, when are we ever going to get back to normal? And then the vaccines came quickly, and the distribution then really helped quite a bit. So as a city, we're doing good, but this Delta variant is still a real threat to the community. We beat President Biden's July 4th goal, so over 70% of people age 18 and over had at least one shot. But we can see now how the Delta variant is moving throughout the country and really impacting folks. So please, let's not all give up on every day encouraging people that if you haven't gotten vaccinated, please do so. It is working. On this past Saturday, the NAACP had a great event at Chickasaw Park. We vaccinated about 180 people on that Saturday, which is good because most vaccination events now, if you get half a dozen or 10, it's a lot. So there are people that are just, for one reason or another, saying, okay, today's the day I'm going to get vaccinated. So don't underestimate your impact. You might be that person to say, okay, let's get vaccinated, and then put them in your car and take them to the clinic, okay, and get it done right then when they're really ready to go. Stepping up for the community in terms of youth, too. Every day these past couple weeks, I'm talking about the budget, since we have a new budget that passed July the 1st. And so we've made several investments related to youth. We've doubled the funding for our Office of Youth Development to $2 million. We've increased our Summer Works program to $1 million. And then a real breakthrough, we put $3 million in the budget for Evolve 502. So Evolve 502, for those that don't know it, has been how we evolved the 55,000 degree initiative to cradle to career to Evolve 502. So what Evolve 502 now does is it provides out-of-school time services for under-invested kids. And if you are a freshman through senior at JCPS, there is no financial constraint to you getting a post-secondary degree. Okay, so we know the #1 disruptor of poverty is a post-secondary degree, and it could be a credential or it could be a PhD. So if you're JCPS, 2 years tuition-free at JCTC, Jefferson, or Simmons. And then if you're Pell eligible, obviously you can go on from there. So that's a big thing for the community now. So if a family's like, I don't know how we're gonna afford the kids to go to college, that's off the table now. So we put $3 million, which then incented CE&S to put $2.5 million in, which put us over $20 million for Evolve 502, and thus these scholarships are available. So please talk to everybody you can to make sure that they know that. It's spreading throughout the community, but not quite everybody knows. So that's a real game changer for us. And just like this is, Pete. So again, you guys have been really amazing for what you've done for the city. We've been at several announcements because of your all's generosity. We have one of a bookmobile, JBS sponsored, because literacy is another one of their priorities, and also one of Pete's interests being a bookmobile kid. So somehow he manages to find the Y in bookmobiles and it comes together in ways that really help the community. So congratulations to the Y. JBS, again, fantastic job. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
Okay, after the following remarks, that we will go ahead and do a picture shoot or a photo op with the check presentation. But it is certainly now my great privilege, pleasure to introduce one of the mentors of my life, somebody who's impacted me way before he ever knew who I was. But the president and CEO of the YMCA of Greater Louisville, Steve Tarver.
So I haven't had a chance to do this in a while, but inspired by Norm's hearty good morning, I'll give you a chance to respond. I'm going to say good morning as well. You have two choices. You can either give me a hearty good morning in response, or we will sing a verse of John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith like we do at day camp. So, good morning. Good morning. It always works. It is my pleasure for sure to thank JBS USA, Pete Charbonneau. By the way, Pete, I started also working for the Y at age 14, so I have a kindred spirit with you and your son. But for the generosity and commitment, not only to the YMCA, but to our community at large. And you've heard a little bit about that, which I'll not necessarily repeat. But, you know, this commitment of $1 million and the conversation about this started at a time, as he referenced, Pete referenced in his comments about where, and the mayor as well, where we weren't sure where we were going to be or how, if we were even going to exist a year later, which here we are, a little over a year later, and we are here talking about collaboration and sustainability and service, and that is the history of our YMCA, and we think that this will make a difference with the Y, but not also with our community and across many individual lives. And if there was time, I'd be happy to tell you some stories about children that are in some learning programs with the Y, along with our educational systems and things like that, that are happening literally as we sit and stand here right now. This certainly has been a challenging last year and a half, and as we look at the community, highly stressed people of all ages, and still somewhat uncertain. And I really appreciate the mayor's comments about this new Delta variant. I read a good bit of news every day, and you know, the country had a 50% week over week increase in the COVID diagnoses just in the last week. So everything the mayor said is very important, and we do need to continue to pay attention to this. But potentially, as we hopefully relieve some of this stress and the need for social engagement, social connections among people is very evident, and that we'll come out of this thanks to this contribution and the collaborations that it represents. We will come out of this with strength and fortitude. The Y has been around for more than 165 years, and that's due in part to a community that has supported us through partnerships and collaborations and other things like JBS USA, like Metro Louisville, a partner that we've been involved with in our schools, and many others that have stepped up, and we're grateful for that. And that's a key element of my comments today, is simply just gratitude. And to move the needle on things that face our communities now, go beyond the work of any one person, one agency, one company, or one government entity. And so, you know, to get significant impact, collaboration, in my mind, is the word of the day, and community-wide partnerships, public-private, corporate nonprofit, business, and others, that these are the things that have allowed our organization to exist for over 165 years, and not only to endure, but to adapt. And if there's ever been a time for adaptive leadership and adaptive things, we're in it. We have been in it, and we're going to be in it in the future as well. So it is my hope that this partnership inspires others across the community to share the same philosophy, and in doing so, by working together. One of the first messages that I gave to our members and our staff in April of 2020, I quoted Hebrews 11:1, one of my favorite scriptures. It says, "Faith is the evidence of things not seen." And we certainly had no way to see what the future was going to bring, and there's still a good deal of uncertainty out there. But I do believe that with faith, together we can do, and I said this 16 months ago, I said, together we can do more than we ever thought we could. And I think with that faith continuing, I believe we can still do more than we ever thought we could or would, but together is going to be critical to that concept. So I'd like to thank our staff, Norm Johnson in particular, who facilitated, and you got the great story of that. Of course, I was an outsider to those early conversations as a Florida State University fan, as well as a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. We were outside that. We're a little closer to the conversation now with Tom Brady and a recent Super Bowl win in Tampa Bay, which is amazing to think of. But in any case, but I'm so grateful to our staff and to the partners, to our board members, many of whom are here today. If you're a board member of the Y in any role, could you just raise your hand and let us say thank you to you all? And of course, our board members and Mayor Fisher in Metro Louisville. So this type of celebration gives us the opportunity to look forward to the future with optimism and, of course, as I said, gratitude. So thanks again to JBS USA, their Hometown Strong program, for being a leader and trusting the YMCA of Greater Louisville with this investment. Pete, that means a lot to us. We hold that in very high regard, and we look at an investment like this as confidence and trust in our organization. We are honored by that, and we are inspired by that. So we're grateful. So to each of you that have taken a few minutes to be with us today to share this news and to talk a little bit about how we can work together. God bless each of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again to our partners, and have a great afternoon, and we will, somebody will know what we're going to do next.